What does it include? The itinerary is fantastic. So 6 days, 5 nights, hike at your own pace. Routes are rated levels 1 through 4, so you can be as calm and easy as you want to and as challenging as you want to. We'll be shuttled each day to a starting point. We'll have 2 guides and 2 support bands. We'll hit the Snake River and whitewater rafting with a picnic. We'll go to the Grand Tetons National Park and Jackson Lake Lodge. Grand Teton Free Time, 4 to 14 mile walk and hike options, Inspiration Point or Emma Matilda Lake, or Christian Pond. We'll stay at the Jackson Lake Lodge again. South entrance to Yellowstone National Park, staying at the Lake Yellowstone Hotel. Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, the Canyon Rim, Grand Canyon to Uncle Tom's Route, Inspiration Point, and Old Faithful Inn. Then we'll be at West Yellowstone Upper Geyser Basin. Gotta see the geysers. Great fountain geyser and fountain paint pots. This is the trip of a lifetime. If going to Yellowstone is on your bucket list, join us. We'll stay at some great hotels. We'll have some great food. You'll meet some fantastic people. And it's an active holiday as opposed to one where you're just kind of sitting around eating and drinking and getting fat like I do. Now we can do some hiking, and it is at your own pace. We're going to be working with Back Roads, and they're going to be taking care of us for 6 days and 5 nights as we do Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. Give us a call, 512-529-3696, and ask for the Adventures of Smokey's trip. We'll send you that information. Go to our Facebook page at Peaks Cruises Tours on Facebook. Welcome back to your Bucket List Buster. What's happening in the weekly news? Well, American Airlines has reinstated St. Thomas and St. Martin service from New York and Philly. It's been about 15 months since Hurricane Irma, and so they are letting folks know that they're back in business. Some other airlines, I think I mentioned last week, JetBlue was the first one back last year. But we need to make sure that we get back to these countries, man. We've got to get back to these islands and let them know we love them. They need our dollars. They make their living through tourism, and these are some fantastic destinations. So we need to get back there as soon as possible. The other thing that went on this past week or two was the yellow vest demonstrators that were torching cars in Paris and vandalized the Arc de Triomphe, along with reports of injuries and fatalities. I mean, it was a really, really bad deal. And they kind of are rattling tourists about whether or not we should go to Paris right now. Well, you know, we talked about safety earlier in the show, and that's one of the reasons that we did this, because there's so much in the news about safety and traveling. So the U.S. State Department has issued a level 2 travel advisory, as well as a series of alerts urging Americans to practice caution in Paris and cities throughout the destination. So exercise increased caution in France due to terrorism, although they were not focused on visitors, tourists. This was definitely an internal situation. So there are terrorist groups that continue plotting attacks in France, and you know, we just don't know what's going to happen. There are no warnings or targeting tourist locations, transportation hubs, none of that. Shopping malls, none of that. There's none of that going on major sporting events. So just know. But in the event you thought you were going to Paris or you would like to go to France, there are some alternatives to going to France other than Paris right now. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what some of those are. So they're the 500th anniversary of the birth of the French Renaissance and the death of Leonardo da Vinci. We'll have a spotlight in Loire Valley in 2019. The International City of Gastronomy in Lyon, arguably France's most famous foodie city. is an option. The 75th anniversary of D-Day landing will kick off June 6th in Normandy. And there's a big celebration that's going to be taking place over that time period. The northern city of Lille is gearing up to host El Dorado Lille 3000, a citywide feat that takes place once every 3 years. It's art exhibitions and installations, and it'll be held indoors and out in the open, in the open air, which could be really cool, really artsy type of an event. De Montpellier, France's most seductive city. The trams, they say, designed by Christian Lacroix as moving tableau, have been called the sexiest in the world. So imagine that. We got sexy trams in Montpellier. It takes a startling city to make trams run sexy, and I would love to see that. Bordeaux, of course, you can't match the elegance of Bordeaux. And then you can stroll through the graceful streets of France, eat well, drink better, and then have the liveliest possible time in a city that is considered to have a Latin side to it. So that's Bordeaux. We only know Bordeaux by the wines, at least me. Strasbourg, watery fairy tale setting with the castles. It's just absolutely beautiful, fractions of the crowds. And you can sit on the banks of the Seine River if you want to go to Strasbourg. So that's another really cool place to do a river cruise. And that's one of the reasons river cruising is really, really a great idea, especially in France right now. If you want some more information about river cruising in France, I would recommend it. The ships are small, the destination is your entertainment, and you get to see multiple destinations, especially the Normandy kickoff that they're going to have, the 75th anniversary. That'd be a great place for you to do river cruising. And sometimes because of the unrest that goes on in some places, being out on the water is not a bad place to be. So I'm going to take another quick break, and when I get back, we're going to talk about some New Year's customs and rituals here in Panama. This is pretty hilarious, and that's one of the reasons you need to go places and see what people do during the holidays. It really is kind of fun. So I'll be back in a minute. This is Karen Duncan, your Bucket List Buster. See you very soon. Duncan here with Peaks Cruises and Tours. I'd like to tell you about another fantastic trip we have coming up, and this one is my favorite. This one's on my bucket list. 29 days, the South Pacific on Golden Princess with Princess Cruise Line. That's right, 29 days. This is a trip of a lifetime, folks. We're going to start out in Sydney, Australia on April the 8th, 2020. We'll spend days at sea, but we'll see lots of New Zealand. Then we'll end up going to Tonga, Samoa. We'll cross the international date line, go to Bora Bora and Tahiti. We will then hit Honolulu on our way back to Los Angeles, California. It doesn't get any better than this. Lots of time to see multiple countries in the South Pacific. And I promise you, it's going to be a blast. Join us as a group. We've got great group pricing. We've got some great amenities. We've got a $200 deposit is all it takes for you to put your money down. And let's go to Tahiti together, folks. I'm really hoping that you'll join us. Anyway, this is Karen Duncan with Peaks Cruises and Tours. I want you to join us in Tahiti. Go to the peakscruisestours.com website and look for this trip. Get your reservation form in and join us on the high seas with Princess Cruise Line. Welcome back to your Bucket List Buster. So, as we prepare for New Year's, I thought it'd be really fun to tell you a little bit about some of the things that we do here in Panama. And what brought this on was As we drive down the street in Panama, on the main highway specifically, there are these mannequins that people have stuffed. They look like real people in real clothes, jeans and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. So it's like, I finally sent, we have a website that we can go to, All Things Coronado. And I said, hey, what are these mannequins on the side of the road? I'm really confused about what they are. So here are Panama's New Year's rituals and customs. So one of the first one is eat 12 grapes at midnight and make a wish every time you eat a grape. I think that's cool. Spit out the grape seeds, then count the number of seeds. You use the number of discarded seeds to determine your lottery numbers. Interesting. Have money in your hand at midnight. Don't forget to clasp some money in your hand while you're eating your grapes. Having money in your hand at midnight will help ensure you will have money throughout the coming year. Tell my husband we're going to put money in both hands so we can make sure both of us are going to do both hands so we make sure we have plenty of money this year. Walk with packed suitcase around the house. This will ensure a new year of travel. So you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have money in both hands, and I'm going to be walking around with a suitcase with the type of clothes in it that where I want to go for the new year. Wear red. It will attract love in the new year. Put rice in a pot. It will attract wealth for the new year. Pour water on a pound of rice. Sometimes people also pour water on a pound of rice. It's not sure the significance, perhaps a cleansing ritual, we don't know. Burn incense on December 31st. This will get rid of all the bad energy from the old year. Number 10, hang a bunch of oranges, rice, and wheat behind the front door. The benefits of doing this are threefold: prosperity, work, and health. Here's number 11, the one that I was asking about. Burn a stuffed man at midnight. One of the Panamanians' unique New Year's tradition is that of the muñecos. These life-sized effigies are an old Panamanian tradition. These stuffed people are called many names, and they give a list of names, and then they stuff them with firecrackers. And then you light and beat them at the stroke of midnight. And it says that beating and setting the effigies aflame gets rid of the sins and the evil spirits. And most of them are attached to strings, and they look like politicians or famous people. So Fidel Castro, Betty LaFia, Celia Cruz, so on and so forth. And number 12, swim in the ocean on January 1st. The ocean swim will clean out the bad things of the previous year and bring in good things in the new year. So I thought those were really interesting. I hope you think they're cool. And that's one of the reasons why we travel, is to find out new customs and traditions about people that live in different places. So I hope you really enjoyed that, and you'll pick some of those things that you want to have happen for you, and you try some of the Panamanian customs. Doesn't matter if you're not in Panama. Well, folks, that's all we have time for. Have a safe holiday, and I am going to kick this off big time come 2019. So next Thursday, we'll be looking for a whole new set of fun stuff. This is your Bucket List Buster. Travel, reach